I'm going to pick a random comic and a random page. And we're going to look at it and see what's what. Number 4. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 17. All right. So today we are looking at Nexus by Steve Rude. This is volume 2, issue number 13 from October of 1985. I guess somehow all of my comics are from the late 80s. Apparently. So this is the page on the left-hand side that we're going to look at. First of all, I'm noticing that the color palette is pretty much all primary. And it's interesting. This is from First Comics, I believe. And I think that their coloring methods were a little bit different than DC and Marvel. So a lot of the indie books from back then look a little bit different. And that's one of the things that always drew me to them. Just like something about the coloring looks more interesting than your typical Marvel or DC fare from the era. But yeah, very primary colors. That's interesting here. This figure, the first figure here, is the head is cropped. All we see is the hand on the chin. I kind of like that. It's the background figure. It's not so super important maybe what we're seeing in the face, but we get the hand telling the story. And it's also just a nice, I don't know, kind of framing device on our main character here. Also, we have the orange against the blue. So that's the complementary colors going across there. I think we come through, we read the word balloon, and our figure is shouting and looking into the next panel. We also have this nice diagonal here, kind of all these angles of the figure moving us in. You're sorry you didn't say 18, that first panel? Yeah, that panel. Well, next time, Plums Inc. Next time this comic comes around. Yeah, that is great. The diagonal border there, the gutter. But we're looking here. So I guess he's talking to this guy. And it's interesting because it's a direct shot across there. So I like that. I like how it's moving. We have this object here and here. Kind of nice continuity between the panels. Come up, come down. So that's a nice thing there. And then again, we see this figure. We see the crop of them, same as we saw here. This one we saw them from the front. We're seeing them from the back. And another bit of body language with the hand here. So that's an interesting touch as well. And kind of nice way to frame the beginning and the end of this, the first row. Also an interesting, a good way of keeping us, keeping the continuity from panel to panel, keeping us where we're supposed to, keeping us so we know where we are. Because we do a kind of 180 and now we're looking at the back of this figure, but we still see this figure here and it's clear that it's the same one. So come across, read the text, come down to the figure, come up, read this text, come down through. This bull here is a nice touch, kind of moving us down into this panel. And it's the Terminator of the shadow there. Well, that makes an interesting line with the edge of the chair. I wonder if that was accidental or intentional. Now, Steve Rude is a really accomplished draftsman. So I bet he would do that intentionally. Bring us back down. We come over here. So we get these two close-ups and then we get this big wide zoom out. And these ones, you know, 2 panels on this one. Here it's one big panel. Takes up the whole width of the page. And so we go from that close up to the far away. So we start here. I like the body language in this character kind of running in. It's very clear which character is which, right? We have this pattern on the front of the outfit. And so if this was the only page we ever saw of this comic, it would still be obvious who's who. But that's an interesting touch. I like that. Come through here, read this, read this. I guess we come through each of these vehicles. There's 3 vehicles and there's 3 of these architectural things back here too. So that's kind of interesting. This is a curved road. Maybe brings us back down to this balloon. I like this little detail, this little unnecessary detail. There's a drain, and there's some cruddy water kind of puddling around there. So we come through, we finish this panel here, I think. We come straight down. Read that, come through. Our main character here is framed by this shape. Nicely framed there. And let's see. Good action. Come down here and come back up through this, whatever this is. Kind of like that. Straight down, back up, these two figures. And this one is taller, this one is shorter, and that creates kind of an implied diagonal that way. Brings us up here, almost straight up into this car. Come down through, read the text. The action of the panel is moving that way. Come down here. I like the angle of his head, the hair floating there. Brings us down, and the tunnel ends here. We're racing this way. We race back up to the top for this dynamic panel there. Oh, I guess this is the car seat, isn't it? Climbing into the car. That was Nexus by Steve Rude.